Ladies and gentlemen, United Nations is an idea of a better world. It is an idea that is not an abstract construction nor an empty declaration, but carefully crafted agreement. The grand agreement that is the basis of a current multilateral world order. An agreement designed to protect international peace and foster prosperity. An agreement to ensure a free and dignified life for everybody. An agreement that is based on the understanding that destruction and horrors of war must not be repeated. Unfortunately, the international law-based multilateral system with the UN and its charter at the core that is supposed to keep us all safe is increasingly under strain. Its fundamental principles are violated in numerous conflicts across the world. Brutality prevails. We simply cannot let this go on. We all should be asking, what kind of future do we want? Will it be a world dominated by barbaric use of force and violence, where might is always right? Or do we want a peaceful and prosperous world, where law and order, justice and universally agreed rules and principles prevail? This question is relevant for everyone in this room, despite the distance of our own homes from front lines in Ukraine, Gaza, Sudan, or DRC. Multilateral world order based on international law and the principles of a UN Charter must be maintained and strengthened. What our peoples are expecting from us as world leaders today is to bring back the San Francisco spirit, to preserve peace and to reinforce the principles of the UN Charter. Ladies and gentlemen, Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine constitutes one of the gravest breaches in international law and the UN Charter since its adoption 80 years ago. Despite repeated calls by the General Assembly to stop the aggression and set the course towards peace, Russia continues its savage assault on the Ukrainian state and nation. Russia's war and its war crimes undermining the reputation and credibility both of the Security Council and the entire United Nations. This blatant assault on the principles of Charter is undermining the multilateralism, global peace and security. Regrettably, as we speak, Russia is targeting Ukrainian kindergartens, schools, hospitals, nurseries with missiles, drones, gliding bombs, mines, shells and bullets. The same permanent member has been systematically abducting and deporting Ukrainian children, erasing their identity and forcing them into integration. A human suffering in Ukraine has reached unprecedented levels. Only the Human Rights Monitoring Mission in Ukraine has documented the death of at least 40,000 civilians, including almost 1,000 children, and for about 35,000 civilians injured, including more than 2,000 children. The death toll increases with every year, month, week, and day. In total disregard of President Zelenskyy agreeing to ceasefire in March and the recent peace efforts by the United States, Russia has significantly intensified its campaign of terror with a barrage of drone and missile strikes on civilian targets. It is evident that Russia has no intention of agreeing to a ceasefire, let alone a lasting peace. Russia's objectives have not changed. They remain of the subjugation of all the Ukraine and the reshaping of Europe's security order to satisfy Russia's own neo-colonial and imperial ambitions. The increasing violations of neighboring countries' airspace by Russian drones and missiles are yet another escalation and a stark reminder of Russia's aggression threatens not only Ukraine, but the security of the entire region. Hereby, I have to regrettably tell you that just weekdays ago, the Russian fighter planes violated Estonian airspace, a hostile act that is part of a pattern of similar recent incidents happening on the European Union's eastern border. Therefore, the only viable way forward towards a ceasefire and just and lasting peace is to increase collective international pressure on Russia to force them to peace in Ukraine and to act in a way that is expected from the permanent member of the Security Council. Let me assure that my own country, Estonia, will continue to do everything possible to reinforce Ukraine's ability to defend itself in full conformity with Article 51 of the United Charter. Doing so, we are defending the sovereign equality of all member states, large and small, one of the core principles of which the United Nations was founded. We are also advocating for making Russia accountable for its crimes in Ukraine, including for the crime of aggression, as we know too well that impunity only leads to new crimes, new suffering, and even greater injustice. Ladies and gentlemen, the international law-based multilateral system has also failed to protect Palestinians and Israelis. Having visited both Israel and Palestine this year, I witnessed firsthand the devastating impact of a long-lasting conflict. Hamas's brutal terrorist attacks on October 7 have been condemned by the whole world. Hamas cannot have any role in the future governance of Gaza and Palestine. It has to be guaranteed that the horrors of a terrorist would never be repeated. However, ordinary people and children in Gaza must not be the ones to pay the price. I am devastated that so many innocent lives